Hey, it's Susan. Today I want to talk a little bit about balance. In a couple of videos this month, we've talked with Linda Ragsdale about different ways of transforming emotions. In Brainstorm, we talked about how do you name all of that and scribble it out and get it out of your system, pause, breathe, and then deliberately choose to do something with your emotions and turning it into a positive. We've also talked about how do you reframe things and flip it. So dealing with stress is something on a lot of people's minds these days, and we're all having to figure out how to do that in good ways. So I just wanted to give an illustration on self-care from what we learned from yoga. So if you're doing yoga, and this is the part where I should say, do not try this at home, but if you're doing yoga, you know that there are poses, let's take tree pose, where you're going to be in a position where all of your weight and all of your balance is on one leg. So maybe I'm lifting up my foot and placing it just on the inside of my ankle. Okay, I'm not really wobbling too much. So then I move it up to right below my knee. I'm still doing all right. Some people go here. My body had to do just a little bit of wiggling. And then the tree, you might do your arms up. If you're doing some other forms of exercise, they might have you doing some motions around like this. And you can see today that I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm fairly balanced. But what I feel is there's constant movement and adjustment inside my body. It's compensating for the displacement of weight. And if we continue on with other exercises, you can see I was wiggling a little bit there. If I try to do a roundhouse kick, and if I hold it for a while, at some point I might have been going like this. When you do those moves, I'm feeling it. I'm constantly, pulling into my core and centering down so that I'm maintaining the weight. And it could be that that was my good leg, and that if I were to repeat the process on this side, see, like that, this leg's my weaker leg, there was more shifting and more adjusting. Our body is our ally. It gives us signals. When we're doing physical stances like that, it's telling us like root into your core, make the adjustments where you can get your center back. Well, the same thing's true when we are dealing with life stresses, when there is a situation that makes us angry, or we get upset, or whatever other emotions there are that I can't think of off the top of my head. Our body will give us signals. Maybe our shoulders start drifting up towards our ears. Maybe we quit breathing. Maybe we feel it in our stomach. And so when we're facing these emotional, mental situations that get us out of kilter, we need to do the same thing we would when we're physical, in the sense is find our equilibrium, find our balance again. But instead of doing what we do physically, which is center and clench in and kind of go like this, if you're like this, you do the opposite. You release, you relax, you let go, you find your breath. You take deeper breaths, you slow down. And I just wanted to do that reminder because I think too often we overlook the signals that our body is actually giving us about the stresses and the imbalances out there, that if we paid attention and relax and release and breathe into it, then we can face the situations a little more calmly and from a better place. So that's just my 2 cents. Our body is our ally, and we're a whole connected thing. So we need to listen to the signals of our ally to help us overall. Second part to this. Nothing to do with balance in that sense, but it is from our brain boosters for groups in a jar. There is a 20-second activity that has to do with balance. And you simply have everyone grab 2 items from around them. So I have a little Godzilla and I have a Darth Vader. So I grab 2 items. I hold up my knee. I place the 2 items on there. And for 20 seconds, you have the whole group see if they can hold their balance and keep the wobbling this or the items from wobbling on their knee and falling off. That's a brain booster, and that it's challenge, novelty, movement, and it's getting the breath going. So just another way to bring some movement into your Zoom meeting or your face-to-face meeting. And it's an activity that you can do to then introduce the idea of what we just talked about, of how do we maintain balance? What are our strategies? What else do we need to do? Hope you like this. Share this with others. Subscribe so that you don't miss out on tips and strategies to help you with your group.